History is full of bizarre and gross practices that were, at one time, totally normal. People back in the day did some really weird stuff that would make us gag if we tried it now. From using poop as a bathroom solution to cleaning their teeth with some of the nastiest things you can imagine. People had some pretty disgusting habits. Let's dive into 6 of the most revolting practices in history that will make you very thankful you live in the present day. Pig toilets. Today we flush and forget. But centuries ago, people had a different approach to getting rid of their, well, business. Enter the pig toilet, a clever yet stomach-churning solution. Imagine this. You have a small bathroom shack, and right beneath it lives a pig. Instead of your waste just disappearing down a pipe, it drops straight down as a delicious snack for the pig waiting below. Yes, you read that right. People using pigs as a living, breathing garbage disposal for their human waste. The idea was simple. Pigs love to eat just about anything, and they'll happily chow down on, the stuff you'd rather not think about. So why not let them take care of it? This was an efficient way to manage waste without the hassle of digging a hole or dealing with a stinky cesspit. The pig got fed, and you got rid of the mess. Win-win, right? While this might seem like a genius recycling idea, kind of like the first composting toilet, the thought of a pig slurping up what you'd flush is enough to make anyone's stomach turn. Plus, can you imagine the smell? Yet in some parts of the world, this was a common practice right up until the 20th century. So next time you're sitting on your clean porcelain throne, be grateful you're not sharing it with a hungry pig. Wigs. Wigs are often associated with high fashion, but back in the 17th and 18th centuries, they were more about hiding something than making a statement. People wore wigs to cover up baldness, which was often caused by diseases like syphilis. But these weren't just any wigs. Oh no! These were towering, powdered, and absolutely massive wigs. The bigger, the better. But here's the gross part. These wigs were practically a breeding ground for lice and other critters. People didn't have the same hygiene standards we do today, and shampoo wasn't exactly flying off the shelves back then. Wigs were made of horsehair, goat hair, or even human hair, and they were rarely washed. If you think dandruff is bad, imagine having a whole ecosystem living on your head. To make matters worse, wig wearers would often apply a powder made from flour or starch to keep the wig looking fresh. This powder not only helped maintain the wig's appearance, but also served as a snack for the bugs living in it. Talk about a gross cycle. The lice would thrive, and wig wearers would have to deal with constant itching and scratching. As if that wasn't bad enough, the wigs could get so smelly and infested that people started carrying around little scratching sticks to deal with the itchiness. And if you were rich enough, you'd have a servant whose job was to clean your wig. They'd comb out the bugs and try to keep the whole thing from turning into a smelly, squirming mess. So the next time you see an old portrait of someone wearing one of those majestic wigs, just remember what might have been crawling around in there. It might make you appreciate your bedhead a little more. Facial cleanser. These days we have an endless variety of facial cleansers that promise to give us clear, glowing skin. But back in ancient Rome and Greece, people took a much more hardcore approach to skincare. Instead of reaching for something gentle and soothing, they used a facial cleanser that was as potent as it was disgusting. Crocodile dung. Yes, you heard that right. Crocodile dung, or poop, was the go-to ingredient for a smooth, flawless face. The logic was that the dung's acidity would help to cleanse the skin and get rid of blemishes. So people would mix the dung with water or mud and slathered it all over their faces. This mixture was believed to have magical properties that could smooth out wrinkles, brighten the complexion, and keep the skin looking youthful. Now, we know what you're thinking. Why on earth would anyone put poop on their face? Well, back then people believed that animals had powerful, mystical properties that could be transferred to humans. So if crocodiles were fierce and strong, then their poop must be equally potent, right? At least that's what they thought. The smell, the texture, and sheer grossness of it all, it's hard to imagine this being a popular beauty treatment. But people were so convinced that it worked that they were willing to put up with the stench and the discomfort. Just picture ancient Roman women lounging in their baths, covered head to toe in a luxurious crocodile dung mask, believing they were on the path to eternal youth. It's safe to say that skincare has come a long way since then, so the next time you complain about a pimple, remember, at least you don't have to resort to smearing crocodile poop on your face. Urine Mouthwash. If you've ever complained about the taste of mouthwash, prepare to have your mind blown. In ancient Rome, people didn't just use minty fresh liquids to clean their mouths. They used urine. Yes, you read that right. Urine was the ancient world's go-to mouthwash, and people swore by its effectiveness. The reasoning behind this revolting practice was simple. Urine contains ammonia, a powerful cleaning agent. Ammonia can break down bacteria and remove stains. making it a surprisingly effective cleaner. The Romans, always keen on hygiene, figured that if it could clean their clothes, it could probably clean their teeth and gums too. So they would collect urine, sometimes even importing it from distant places for its supposed superiority, and swish it around in their mouths to keep their breath fresh and their teeth white. And it wasn't just the Romans. This practice was popular in many parts of the ancient world. People believed that urine could cure bad breath, whiten teeth, and even prevent gum disease. But let's be real. Swishing around warm, stale urine in your mouth sounds like a nightmare. The taste, the smell, the sheer ickiness of it all, it's a wonder anyone ever thought this was a good idea. Yet in a time before toothpaste and modern dental hygiene, people were willing to try just about anything to keep their mouths clean. Today, we have toothpaste, mouthwash, and floss to keep our teeth sparkling and our breath fresh. So the next time you're brushing your teeth, take a moment to appreciate the fact that you're using something minty instead of something that, well, came out of the other end. Mouse brain toothpaste. Speaking of disgusting dental practices, let's talk about toothpaste. We all know the importance of brushing our teeth, but what if our toothpaste wasn't made of mint and fluoride, but something much, much grosser? In ancient Egypt, people had a truly revolting recipe for keeping their teeth clean: mouse brains. Yes, that's right. Ancient Egyptians believed that a brain of a mouse was the key to maintaining healthy teeth and gums. They would crush up the mouse's brain into a paste, mix it with other ingredients like powdered ashes and eggshells, and then apply this lovely mixture to their teeth. The idea was that the brains had some kind of magical property that would keep their teeth strong and their breath fresh. Now, mouse brains are not exactly easy to come by, nor are they something most people would willingly put in their mouths. But back then, people were so convinced of the health benefits that they didn't mind the gross factor. Plus, mice were plentiful, and it was a relatively cheap and easy solution for dental care. The texture of this ancient toothpaste must have been horrendous, not to mention the taste. And can you imagine the smell of a mouse brain that's been left out for too long? Yet this was a normal part of the daily routine for many ancient Egyptians. So the next time you squeeze a nice minty toothpaste onto your toothbrush, be grateful that science has advanced far enough that we don't have to rely on rodent brains to keep our teeth clean. Crocodile dung contraceptive. When it comes to birth control, people throughout history have tried some pretty bizarre methods, but one of the strangest and most disgusting has to be the use of crocodile dung as a contraceptive. Yes, you heard that correctly. Ancient Egyptians believed that by inserting crocodile poop into the vagina, they could prevent pregnancy. The logic behind this revolting practice was that the dung would act as a barrier, preventing sperm from reaching the egg. Crocodile dung was also believed to have some sort of mystical property that could protect women from unwanted pregnancies. So women would mix the dung with other substances like honey or clay and then insert it as a kind of ancient spermicide. As you can probably imagine, that was not the most effective method of birth control. Crocodile dung is not exactly a reliable barrier, and it certainly doesn't have any magical properties that prevent pregnancy. Plus, the risk of infection and other complications was extremely high. But in a time before modern contraceptives, people were willing to try just about anything to avoid getting pregnant. The thought of using crocodile dung as a contraceptive is enough to make anyone cringe. The smell, the texture, the potential for infections, there's just nothing good about it. But for many women in ancient Egypt, this was one of the only options available. Today we have a wide range of birth control options that are safe, effective, and most importantly, not made of animal poop. So the next time you think about how far modern medicine has come, be thankful that you don't have to resort to such extreme and disgusting measures to prevent pregnancy. In conclusion, history is filled with bizarre and downright gross practices that people once considered normal. From using pigs as toilets to slathering your face with crocodile dung, it's clear that our ancestors had some pretty strange ideas about hygiene and health. These 6 practices are just a few examples of the weird and disgusting things people did in the past, and they serve as a reminder of how much our understanding of science and medicine has evolved. So the next time you brush your teeth, wash your face, or, well, just use the bathroom, take a moment to appreciate the modern conveniences we often take for granted. After all, it wasn't too long ago that people were using methods that would make us gag today.